Here's my take on Stephen A. And I've said this before, but I want to reiterate it. Early 2000s, I used to fuck with Stephen A. Man heavy. You know, he had the show called Quite Frankly on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that show. He had old Kobe, Stephon Marbury. He had everybody was on that show. Everybody who was everybody at that point. He's also from Hollis, Queens. You know how we feel about Queens dudes. That's home team. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my Hollis dudes. You already know how the Hollis ad, Francis Lewis, the whole thing, right? He went to Edison. Edison is literally next to my high school, Jamaica High School, where I went, right?
Yeah.
So he's close to home. He's a couple of years older than me, so we're in the same age level. But he's Queens, and I want to rep for him, man. And, back in the days, he had a little bit of swag. But here's what happens. He got in a little bit of trouble with ESPN, the brass at ESPN, a couple of different times. One time he said something about the domestic violence case, got suspended. Couple of little things, he got himself in some hot water, him and a couple of other guys from ESPN, a couple other pundits. But he winds up getting fired at some point, right? Goes over to Fox. He's kind of, they're pushing him out the business, so to speak, right? Skip Bayless breathes life back into him, brings him over to First Take. The show takes off. Stephen head starts to get a little big, pause, right? He starts believing his own hype. He becomes, in my opinion, the attack dog for the powers that be. You know what I'm saying? Even bigger than sports, just in society in general, man. Pushing the agenda for certain people. I understand you want to protect the bag. You know what I mean? He went from disputing shit to just being, doing what daddy wants him to do. You know what I'm saying? My problem with him is he finds a way to tear down black athletes every chance he gets. You know what I'm saying? We know what he did with Kaepernick. You know what I mean? In a time where, in an important intersection of sports and black culture and political culture, he tries to tear Colin Kaepernick down. You know what I'm saying? Jay, you've been in the streets. Q, you've been in the streets. I've been in the streets. I've been beat up by police numerous times, especially in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So what Cap stood for, or kneeled for, ironically, was very important. If you to go in there and try to disrupt that movement, that's sucker shit. You know what I'm saying? You could, over some bullshit. I think he got mad at him because Kaepernick said he didn't vote. A lot of us don't vote. A lot of us don't believe in that shit. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, some do, some don't. That's neither here nor there, right? We see what he did with Kyrie, who I fuck with heavy. Kyrie is my guy. You know what I'm saying? At a time, again, when people were divided on taking this vaccine, America was divided, especially our people were not trustworthy of that vaccine, and we're still not to this day. You know what I'm saying? And Kyrie stood on his, stood on business, stood on his square. What does Stephen A. do? He goes in there, he tries to knock him down every single day. I don't know if you remember that. Every single day he was on First Take, just going hard on Kyrie in a contract year, for one. You know what I'm saying? And two, talking about something that we as human beings have the right to make decision to put in our body, right? Kind of like, we're going through this whole Kamala and Trump shit with the, the overturning Roe versus Wade and the abortion stuff. We had a right not to want to use that vaccine, right? And Kyrie stood on business for all of us, and I respect that. And he just constantly was riding Kyrie. Again, I believe a position of higher ups used him to push on us. You know what I'm saying? Go get him, Stephen A. You know what I'm saying? You're black. They won't think it's a racist type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I believe, and then again, along with KD, he said something before. He said something years ago about KD. He said to KD, like, you're the weakest superstar I've ever seen. You remember that shit, Jay? Yeah. Right? You know what I'm saying? Yep. And some of that was true in terms of, KD was with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They blew like a 3-1 lead to Golden State. 3-0 lead, right? So he blew a 3-0 lead. So he jumped ship the next year, goes with, the Splash Brothers and Draymond and all that. And people did perceive that as a weak move, right? But why are you trying to play him out in front of the whole world? You know what I'm saying? My thing is the way he tries to tear down black athletes. I got a serious fucking problem with that. You know what I'm saying? He threatens people. He goes, I remember one time he said on the show about KD, he goes, you don't want to have a problem with me. Like, what you gonna do? You gonna scrap? Or are you gonna ban? Like, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You see, if you take a close look, the face of the NBA, LeBron James, he don't fuck with him, low key. A lot of dudes don't fuck with Stephen A. Smith. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing is, maybe KD, like you said, mercurial, sensitive, maybe probably not the best leader vocally. You know, he's kind of like you say, he leads with his play on the court and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter, y'all remember Derek Jeter, right? Derek Jeter wasn't necessarily the biggest vocal leader, but he played the game the right way, didn't get in trouble, and the rookies and the people on the team they followed him because he was doing the right thing, right? So I agree and disagree with you guys. I'm not a real big Stephen A. guy, and you know that's really where I stand on it. You know what I mean?